So our next story is a request from Nooch on YouTube. So let's get on board the Carpenter Copter and go for a ride. We're going to Britain. Merry old England. The big blue island or something. The Emerald Isle. Is that what it's called? I think that's Ireland. We're going to England. We're going to the place of kings and queen. Oh, I just came up with that one. And Knights of the Round Table. And Stonehenge, I think, is over there. It might be in Wales. What else comes from England? Bunch of dragons, I guess. That's all. So anyways, we're in Britain now. And the Carpenter Copter. So we're coming in, and of course, we're going to an airport, so we're going in style Carpenter Copter. Those are the rotors slowing down. Got a check engine light. No. Okay, we're not going to go through the whole, end of the flight procedure. I'm sitting reading a manual as you're like, are you going to tell the story? Yes, I'm going to tell the story, dude. I just got to make sure I shut all the instrumentation off. Okay, so anyways, we get off the helicopter. We're at Gatwick Airport. And we get there and immediately surrounded by police. And no, it's not because of any outstanding warrants I may or may not have. It's because we violated international airspace, but also because currently, well, at this time when we landed, no flights were allowed to take off. We're like, oh, well, we're just landing. Here, let me go through my instruments. They're like, no, get away from the gears. Just get out of the helicopter, sir. So we get out, and we find out that from December 19th to December 21st, over 1,000 flights had been canceled or delayed. Actually, I should rephrase that so it sounds more dramatic. Between December 19th and December 21st, over 1,000 flights had been delayed or canceled outright. And the reason why was because people were seeing drones fly overhead. And people would be like, oh my God, there's a drone right over these planes trying to take off. A drone hitting a plane in flight would be devastating. I don't know why, because they're so tiny, but I guess if it flew into the engine or had suction cups and landed on the windshield and the pilot's like, oh, I can't see. It's like spraying oil. I mean, come on, dude. A drone hits a wing of an airplane, it's getting demolished. Can drones really weigh more than the fattest geese or goose? But anyways, apparently if a plane hits a drone, it's bad news. So I'm not going to test that, but I'm sure there's some YouTube videos showing that. But anyway, so planes shouldn't hit drones is the moral of that story that Jason doesn't believe. But the airport was like, we can't take off. There's drones flying overhead. 67 sightings of these drones. People would be sitting there. They'd be eating their crumpets and drinking their tea. They'd look out the windows in the airport and that's not an airplane noise. That's a drone flying by. They're like, ah. Pilots said that, oh man, I saw a drone fly by. I was sitting here in the break room, and they're like, are you sure that wasn't the noise an airplane made? He's like, I'm positive that was the noise of a drone. 67 sightings of these drones. The airport's like, we can't let these planes take off. Now, the police begin investigating it. They end up arresting a local couple. They're like, oi, 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 breaking down the door. The couple is building a drone in the back. No, the couple was actually completely innocent. And so the cops arrested them, released them the next day. And by that point, a bunch of newspapers had published their names and photographs. And in Britain, unless someone is charged with the crime, this is a new law, you can't do that. So this couple is going to sue all these newspapers and websites in Britain and make a ton of money out of this. They said we had nothing to do with this. Then, the next day, a police officer giving an interview says, there may not have been any drones in the first place. So at this point, everyone's flipping out. This was a busy airport the weekend before Christmas. 140,000 people impacted by these diversions, delays, and cancellations. And now you have a police officer saying there may not have been any drones. This is the weird thing. So after he said that, he got rebuked by the police organization, the cops, the bobbies, and they said that's a miscommunication. There were drones. But 140,000 people were impacted by this. The people who showed up at the airport, they're basically trapped there for a long period of time. because they were waiting for the next flight. You had the whole crew, you had the airport, you had all their security cameras, you had everyone with a cell phone camera. Not a single video or a photo of a drone was taken from this airport. There have been some photos that have popped up online and people are like, look it's a drone. But these photos are undated. The police have no proof as of right now that they're revealing that there are any drones. And all the security camera footage, there's no video footage of any drones whatsoever as of now. And there's no photographs that have been released. So where is all this video and photographic evidence that these drones even existed? Everyone has their back to the wall. The police, if there were drones, they have to catch the people doing it. The airport, if there were no drones, there's going to be mass firings. If it turns out that this was just some case of mass hysteria, that one person in a crowd thought they saw a drone, and that story spread to eventually became, yes, I saw a drone, I saw 3 of them, or whatever, that's going to be a huge problem. Now, the story started on December 19th. It was about 2 days ago when the couple was arrested and released. It was roughly 1 day ago when the police officer said, we don't know if there's any drones in the first place. The conspiracy theories have already started rolling. Let me go back to the drone thing real quick, too. The police, the only piece of evidence they found so far is a broken drone on the outside of the airport. And even they're like, we don't know how long this has been here. Could have been here for a while, could have been here during this flap, we don't know. But anyways, the conspiracy theories have already started rolling in. 1, the conspiracy is that Britain is testing the public. The government of Britain purposely set out the story that there are drones flying around because they wanted to ground those flights. Why, you ask? Because they want to see how people will react when Brexit finally takes effect and people are trapped in Britain. Now, never mind the fact that that's not what Brexit is. Brexit doesn't turn Britain into George Orwell's Oceania. It's not a prison island at that point, and you can't leave because people from Britain aren't allowed in Europe anymore. It's not what that is. But that's one of the conspiracy theories, as ill thought out as it is. The other one, of course, is aliens. There was some sort of alien craft or alien interference above that airport, and the government was like, just shut it down. It's not worth having a plane crashing into this invisible UFO that nobody can see. Just say there's a bunch of drones flying around. Of course, I love the UFO angle, but there's less evidence for that than there are of drones. I think at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, the police they'll find one sliver of evidence that there was a drone in the area, and they'll either say, and the suspect got away, or they'll pin it on somebody. I think that's what the airport wants. I think that's what the police wants. But I think the most likely suggestion is it is a case of mass hysteria. People see a drone, or think they see a drone, and that story spreads to eventually anything that is slightly out of the ordinary. A bird that kind of has like a limp wing, or, a cloud that kind of looks like a drone. It's all shaped with rotors. Anything out of the ordinary. People are like, oh my God, that's a drone, because that's what your mind is thinking of. I think it's mass hysteria. I bet you they'll never catch anyone involved in this. Could be wrong. But again, why are they going for that angle when there is no evidence whatsoever? They might as well said there was just a bunch of ghosts on the runway. There's as much evidence for that. And you could be like, well, you didn't find a broken drone. Be like, yeah, but there's probably a guy died here, right? 1,000 years ago. Maybe King Richard got stabbed. And be like, yeah, probably. So, ghosts or drones, or ghosts of drones, but most likely mass hysteria. That's what's going on at Gatwick. That's my opinion. But I could be wrong. Probably not, though. We'll find out. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.